Hello there, my name is Shireen, and today we will continue looking at the examination skills. Specifically, we will talk about the higher level portion, which is analysis. Let's move on so that we can get straight to understanding what analysis means. Now, to analyze is to use theoretical concepts or techniques to explain a business decision. You do that so that you can examine the impact of a business decision or action to take, and you also do that to make sure that you have considered all parts of the business and you bring together ideas and information so that you show the examiner that you're able to provide a very sound business reasoning, right? So what does this mean in particular? Your theoretical concepts here would mean maybe using words or terms like added value, pricing methods, the importance of market research and things like that. All right, and in your answers, you should show or ask what and why when answering your questions that requires you to analyze, right? That means include the why portion and what do you need to improve on and why, for example, yeah? And don't forget how to do it. That should be in your answer as well. And you need to consider different business actions, different decisions, right? So that you can show the examiner that doing an action on A would impact the business in this manner and B and so forth. I think you get what I'm trying to say. Now, when do you need to analyze? You would have questions in your exam papers that require you to analyze. You have paper 1, short answer and essay, particularly, well, you sometimes do have it in section A, but you most certainly have it in section B, all right? You also have a data response question on paper 2. That too will require you to analyze. And of course, the final one, paper 3, case study. Yeah. And the command words to look out for, so you know when really to analyze, words like explain and analyze. Yeah. So let's look at some example of the questions. Right? Explain one disadvantage when a sole trader converts his structure into a partnership for 5 marks. This typically comes out in section A, paper 1 for short answers. And then on paper 1 for section B, we have analyze the advantages of setting up a private limited company for 8 marks. Yeah. Now, analyze the impact to company A should it decide to remain as a partnership. Right, so 6 marks. This typically comes out in examples of papers like data response, paper 2, and in paper 3. Now the difference with data response questions in case studies with paper 1, paper 1, basically there is a business context provided for you. There is a case study for you to look at. There is data provided. So when you analyze further, you will need to use the context of that business so that you're really using the information that's given to you to analyze further. If it was a basic essay question without any case study or data behind it, then you would still need to provide a business context to analyze better. But of course, you can pick the type of business that you want to focus on as long as you answer the question. Yeah. Now let's look at an example of a question. Explain the advantages and disadvantages of setting up a sole trader business for 8 marks. Let's do this slowly. Now, the first paragraph of the answer, a sample answer, of course. A sole trader business is the easiest to set up as it involves just one person or the business owner. The sole trader would have to manage his funds, take care of the business, needs and work as an employee and as an owner at the same time. Although the owner would have full control of the business, a sole trader would still face benefits and disadvantages. Now, if you notice that I put a word K there, K signifies knowledge. In other words, when you answer a question that requires you to analyze, you still need to include some knowledge and some application in your answer before you reach to an analysis. Yeah. So we have not gone to the analysis part of the portion of this question yet, but if you note, I've started answering with defining sole trader. That alone brings knowledge to your answer. Now, in paragraph 2, for example, a sole trader who opens a grocery store would need to manage the customers, cash, and supplies at the same time. What have I done? Provide a context to a business, and I explain what happens in a grocery store and what a sole trader would do. That would gain you marks for application. The sole trader has final say over the business, which is knowledge, and it's an advantage, but he or she may lack the expertise to manage the cash or finances of the grocery store and may need additional hands to manage the responsibilities, where in this instance having a partner would help. Yeah. How did I analyze this part of the answer? I provide an example of what a sole trader does, and then I mentioned that what is the advantage to this? The final say has complete control over the business, but what is lacking would be so and so. All right. And in this instance, how would another structure assist to help a sole trader? Yeah. In paragraph 3, the sole trader may grow his or her business based on the amount of capital he or she has. Therefore, she or he would be able to start the business at a small scale. Now, that again is knowledge for setting up an advantage. All right, for a sole trader, because whatever amount of money he or she has, he or she would be able to start the business at a very small scale. However, if the business grows well and the sole trader intends to expand but lack finance or capital to do so, the grocery store would face difficulty in increasing supplies to meet customer demands. So as you can see, there is some application mentioned, and it was analyzed to show how important having finances is and what would happen if they do not. A sole trader finances would be limited to how much they can fork out into the business, for example, from their own savings or borrowing from friends or family members, unlike a limited company who will be able to sell shares to obtain additional capital. So this answer shows knowledge, application, and analysis to really explain to the examiner that you're not merely explaining what is the advantage or the disadvantage. You're also showing different examples of how this advantage or an advantage could be a disadvantage, and how this would impact the business of a sole trader running a grocery store. Yeah. So, have we answered the question? Do we have knowledge and application? Because without it, it would be difficult to analyze your answer. And we need to look out for the command words of analyze and explain here. If there is any one of them, then you would need to consider analyzing, not consider, you would need to really analyze the question. And what is the take home from this? Do not just analyze the question, still provide knowledge and application in your answer. Let's look at some questions for you to do on your own. Now, thank you so much for watching today's class. I hope you're able to understand what analyze means. And if you need a recap on knowledge and application, please feel free to just go back to my playlist on examination skills. The previous chapter before this speaks about knowledge and application. Till I work on the next one on evaluation, which is coming up really, really soon. Thank you so much for your time and have a great, great day.